Husker Sports Network programming begins in 5 minutes. Husker Sports Network programming begins in 4 minutes. Husker Sports Network programming begins in 3 minutes. Husker Sports Network programming begins in 2 minutes. And this is our final time check. The network will go silent for the final 1 minute. Husker Sports Network programming begins in 1 minute.
It's time for the Nebraska Football Coaches Show. Proudly brought to you by Channel. Channel Seedsman placed product to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com. Also brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers.
Heinrich gonna step and back, little G belly action. As a man wide open, it's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Back to throw his card. Being rushed, steps, throws, intercepted. Tommy Hill with a pick at the 30. Tommy goes down to a knee at the 29-yard line. His second INT of the game, the third of the season for number 31. Sullivan gets the snap, back to throw, pumps, gets rushed, gets hit, throws down. Then a sack. Pulled down again by Nash, his second sack of the game, all the way back at the 30-yard line. Motion to the near side, they hand it off to Emmett Johnson. He's to the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Emmett Johnson's first career Husker rushing touchdown. It's now 30-14.
Here's your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our football show for the week. Delighted to be joined by Glenn Thomas, co-offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach for the Cornhuskers. We'll break things down as the Big Red now 3 days out from the opener against the UTEP Miners. A Saturday 2:30 kickoff with our pregame coverage on the network beginning at 10:30. Welcome. How's the last month been for you?
Man, fast and furious. It's been a long grind, but been very productive and excited to see it kind of come to an end, and the new beginning, is just upon us. So we're excited about that for sure.
Now, you use the term fast. I bet some players are probably thinking, man, let's get this thing over. Let's go play a game right now.
It is. It's a long process. I think back, like even when I was in the NFL, they think about training camp, but even in the NFL, you have preseason games, and it's broken up, and your travel day and, days off. And in college football, it's totally different. We've been going for a month straight, and Coach has done a good job of, breaking it up here and there when we can. But it's, we've been facing a lot of, red and white, and ready to see a different color.
Glenn, the NCAA has changed some numbers of dates. Kind of gone are the days of two-a-days, right? I mean, you were back in the year that you would pretty much, it was normal to have some two-a-day practices. Is that a good thing or not? What do you think of that?
I think it's a great thing, in a couple of different instances, but you can get so much done in a walkthrough setting, in controlled environments. It doesn't necessarily have to be full speed, full contact. You can be in a half-speed, quarter-speed type situation, give a multitude of looks, not wear and tear on the body, but you're really gaining some momentum and some advantages, intellectually.
And you now have a walkthrough room in the building,
and
right?
that's been,
have you taken advantage of that?
Oh, no doubt. We have a text chain that's full blast. Hey, I got to walk through room this spot, and I got to walk through this spot. Oh, I need it here, and we're taking full advantage of it for sure.
That is fantastic. All right, let's talk about the progress of your guys. We talked after spring was over, and you were pleased with how they kind of made their way through spring football. How about their progress in the last month?
Yeah, I think we're headed in the right direction. I think it's, there's not an end product per se, but just the continual process of getting better each day. And, we have ups and downs just like everybody, but, I think they're learning opportunities, and I appreciate their humble approach to it, to be coached, to be critiqued, and try to improve on that. And then, as we talk about in the meeting room, try to apply it onto the field.
Coach announced last week that Dylan will be the starter Saturday against UTEP. What kind of camp did he have? And in your mind, what kind of distinguished him as your number one guy?
Yeah, I think he had a great camp. I think kind of that same approach. We kind of had some up and downs, but just learning opportunities as camp went on and continued to get better. And overall, felt like gave us the best opportunity down in, down out to move the football. And I think he's becoming more and more confident, obviously, with that news out there. He can take a step forward from a leadership standpoint because everybody knows the situation, and I think he's accepted it very graciously and humbly and excited about the opportunity.
I know early in camp you guys mix and match so much. Have you now pared it down to where he's working with the guys that he'll probably be throwing to a lot Saturday?
Yeah, for the most part, we really have, because now you're really trying to fine line the timing, the spacing, that trust in between receivers and quarterbacks. So that's really kind of been the approach, as well as trying to, implement. That's always the struggle with, the backup quarterbacks, if you will, to get them enough reps, because we still want to get Danny reps. We still want to get Heinrich the reps. So Coach does a fantastic job, probably the best I've ever been in my career as far as getting those backup guys reps. So we feel like, each one of those guys in that room are continuing to get better.
Coach mentioned, or the other day, Dylan had a presser. I think it was yesterday. Met with the media, and they said, "Have you gained the trust of your wide receivers?" And he goes, "I'm gonna turn it around. I need to earn their trust.
Yeah.
That was a great comment. I love that.
It is, and it's so true. It really is. I think there is a time and a place where you have to insert yourself or assert yourself from a leadership standpoint, but also, too, you have to walk the walk, and I think he appreciates that. He acknowledges that, and I think that speaks volume for him and his maturity to understand that aspect of it.
How's the room been, Coach, off the practice field? How have they been in the meeting rooms? How have they been in studying their playbooks, those type of things?
They've been great. They've been all supportive of each other. Obviously a little bit of a unique situation with, like you say, not the name starter early, so they're all kind of competing against each other for the same job. But it's been cool to see. They're all very humble, very gracious, trying to help each other, asking each other questions, trying to get each other better, because at the end of the day, we're going to need all of them to be at their best. And I think they understand that. And that's very appreciative, for me as a coach to have that type environment in the room.
Where did you see Heinrich improve since last spring?
Yeah, he just continues to improve, I think, in all levels. Obviously he has the athleticism, he has the size and that skill set. But, as he sees the field, as he's getting through his progressions, utilizing touch, not just pace balls, ball ID, hey, I want the ball on the left shoulder or the right shoulder, or hey, I got to get it into this second window. I think as he continues to get those reps and sees why we're trying to get what we're getting done, he continues to improve. And I've been pleased with him because he continues to the arrows up for sure.
What have you observed? How did he handle the news of not being named the starter?
To be expected. I mean, he is top-notch character. Yeah. Like Coach said, he is all for the team. Whatever I can do to help this team, I'm going to do it. And I have the utmost respect for him. As does everybody in that locker room, but how he's approached this situation before the news and even after the news. And like I say, we're going to need him, in more ways than one, and he'll step up to the challenge, no doubt about it.
Danny, your other quarterback, your other freshman quarterback in there, and I'm sure you're seeing growth with him as well.
Yeah, it's been fun to see, and he's so eager to learn, so eager to apply classroom to the field. Again, he's been one of those delights to be in the room. Great addition to the room. Nothing but humble, team first, whatever I can do to help. He really takes that approach every day.
Coach got asked in his presser on Monday about, are you going to ease Dylan into this thing? He goes, nope, we're not going to approach it that way. Have you been a part of staffs that did? And what are your thoughts about the way Coach Rural wants to go after this?
Yeah, I think that's it's kind of different every year. I've had freshman quarterbacks play, maybe not game one, but it's been like, at Baylor it was
sure.
Game 4 or 5. At UNLV it was 2 or 3 or 4 games into the season. It's maybe a little different game one, but it's so unique with the spring enrollees. These guys have had hundreds and hundreds of reps. Now they haven't been in the stadium and some of the newness of that, but these guys, they have a lot of reps under their belt. He knows what he's doing. He has confidence what he's doing. He knows where everybody's going to be. So, we feel very, very confident about what he's doing and not having to limit the playbook, based on that situation.
He probably likes that.
Oh, no doubt.
Quarterbacks don't like to be restrained, right?
No, let me go.
Good stuff. All right. One of the biggest things in college football this year is the helmet communication. How has that gone? I know you guys have even used it a lot during the spring ball, which probably gave you a little bit of a head start, but how's that going?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I think it can be a huge advantage for us. Jay Terry does a great job. They have all these helmets running around, and, we have this helmet and that helmet, and they're on this group, because Coach likes to split up all the teams, so we have all these teams going and trying to get reps for everybody. So we keep those equipment guys busy trying to get the right helmets so we can communicate with those particular people. But, in a game situation, I think it'd be fantastic just to give them cues, just to give them a little something here or there. Hey, be ready for this situation. Look for this route. Look for this coverage. And we've tried to simulate that best we can in practice, and hopefully that can correlate to the game.
How big a deal are having tablets now on the sideline? And you dealt with that in the NFL, obviously.
Yeah, I think it'll be great in a lot of levels. I mean, just the communication piece, what are they trying to do, particularly early in the season, even the game this weekend, how are they going to attack us, not have a lot of background, obviously new staff, new spot. You can try to, come to some conclusions or ideas of how they're going to continue to play the rest of the game, and you can have visuals to learn from, which obviously can accelerate that process.
When you made that move from college to the NFL, how how did you absorb all that added information you could get in the NFL because of the ability to see something right away on the sidelines compared to what you had at Baylor or something?
Well, I've always thought it was easier in the NFL because you can miss it, right? You can miss it and then go back on the tablets and see it. Like in college football back in the day, you can't miss it. Hey, you're on an 11-play, 12-play drive. Hey, what happened play 4? If you didn't catch it in live action, how are you going to coach your guys? So you really had to be locked in and see it. Whereas in the NFL back in the day, I'm going to scroll through the tablet and look at play 4, and this is what happened. So I've always thought the college, situation was a lot harder, but it'll definitely make it a lot easier moving forward.
People have talked so much about the helmet communication, but I don't know how much we've talked about the tablets. I think that's a huge jump up, and good for college football. We kind of joined the 21st century.
No doubt, it'll be huge.
Jumped into the modern era of football, so that'll be kind of cool for Saturday's game. Huskers against UTEP in the minors. Saturday afternoon. Let's talk about the rest of the offense. How have you seen the offense progress as camp has moved on?
I think just there's a confidence level. As we continue to grow, you can continue to get the reps. I think just the confidence continues to grow as we just get that day in, day out grind, and you just the understanding of what you're getting done, what we're trying to get done. You start talking about different fronts, like the front this weekend. There's some exotics, there's some different looks, and now you start, the play, if you will, but now all the details within the play, as more that you can master that, the better off you can be and the faster you can play. So we're trying to translate to that, mastery level of the unique looks and how we attack all those looks.
Communication is so key, particularly on that offensive line. And you got a bunch of guys that have played a lot of Big Ten football up front. How about that group, and how big will communication from them be against some of those exotic looks you're talking about for Saturday?
Yeah, no, so true. So you say big, I mean literally big. A couple of those guys are really big, which actually helps too. But I think that's a fantastic advantage of our team. We go as they go, as the adage says. But they do a fantastic job. A lot of them have played together. I mean, they're a tight-knit group. Coach Donnie does a fantastic job with them. They're literally, every time they're walking around the facility, they're all together. They go in the locker room together. They go in the meeting room together. They go eat together. It's really a cool group, and they've done a fantastic job, and we'll lean on them a lot, no doubt about it, not only in the run game, but in the pass game.
So much has made it Dylan making the start, and that is a big deal, but he's got help. There's some weapons. I think that wide receiver room looks like it's getting better and better. There's some good tight ends that can catch the football. He's got help on the field, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and that makes life a lot easier in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And then the running backs, I mean, there's, at every level we feel like there's, some guys that can take some of that strain off of the quarterback, which you need. I mean, you talk about breathable plays where it's not on the quarterback to do that. And and the good thing too, you talk about the receivers, we have some long rangey targets, right? So that there's some room for error as far as accuracy, which helps, and those guys do a good job of catching contested catches, and again, that makes, and then you throw the tight ends, and it's good. It's a nice mixture.
Coach McGuire's got all kinds of body types in the thing. He's got the little speedy guys that have quick hips and can move, and then you got the longer, leaner guys. It's a nice mix.
It is. I've always used the analogy. You always, in a receiver room, you always kind of want a basketball team. You kind of want the point guard, you want the shooting guard, a power forward, and maybe that center. If you kind of have all those little pieces, you kind of have, the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Folks working together, Central Valley Ag unites with our farmers to feed our hungry planet. Take your seat at the table at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. All right, folks, text line is open if you want to fire off a question for Coach Thomas, 402-413-2400. We're also up on our YouTube stream if you want to pop one in there. I'm checking that regularly as well. We can pass those along to the coach. We're back with a lot more with Glenn Thomas, Huskers co-offensive coordinator, next.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
It's go time in the Midwest. The Labor Day sales event is on now. Time to get 0% financing or $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 F-150. Don't wait. Get our best deals on our best selection of Ford trucks only through September 3rd. These deals won't last forever, so that means it's go time. Go to the Labor Day sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers today. It all ends September 3rd. Now get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $6,000 cash back on a 2024 F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
For generations, the story of America's farmers has been one of grit, determination, and unwavering faith. Through trials and triumphs, one truth remains. Together, we can do more. Working together, Central Valley Ag unites with our farmers to feed this hungry planet. So take a seat, share your story. At CVA, there's room at the table. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hoving here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hi, this is Rex Burkhead, and I'm asking you to donate to the Team Jack Foundation to support childhood brain cancer research. Your contribution fuels the discovery of new treatments, enhancing children's lives and improving survival rates. Childhood brain cancer is a serious issue in Nebraska, where we rank number 7th nationally in incident rates. Every dollar brings us closer to a cure and a brighter future for these brave kids. Make a difference today by visiting teamjackfoundation.org to donate. Go Big Red.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Welcome back to our Husker Football Radio Show. Huskers co-offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach Glenn Thomas with us tonight, brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with the new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. I want you, Coach, to kind of take us through a game week and how do you break it down and how much time do you spend with the guys, and do you start on Sunday? Do you come back in on Sunday? Just kind of walk us through the week with your group.
Yeah, it depends a little bit, but typically, obviously this first game, we've been working on it for a while, but say next week, we'll start, the upcoming opponent on a Friday. We'll practice Friday morning, and then as a coaching staff, we'll start looking at some film Friday, start formulating some ideas, because it happens quick, after the game, as you start talking about even a Saturday night game, even on the road, and you're getting back late, and then, to be ready for a Monday practice, you got to have a lot of information ready for them. So Friday, usually we'll spend a few hours getting ready for the upcoming opponent. Excuse me. Sunday's a big rehab day for them, as they come in and want to do the rehab stuff, get all the stuff from the medical stuff from the game. They'll probably watch it on their own. Obviously, we're limited a little bit with some of the things we can do as far as meetings and the formal piece of it. And then, there's different ways to do it. Some people meet and practice on Sundays. Some people meet and practice on Mondays. I think we're going to go that Monday route and, try to get them healthy, and try to hit the ground running, have some stuff ready for them Monday as we can move forward. A lot of stuff, particularly with the quarterbacks, they have to do a lot of stuff on their own, because we just have limited amount of time to meet and, to give them the information. So a lot of the times we'll make cut-ups for them and that they can watch them. We can type in like our little cues, coaching points. They'll watch it. Hey, this is what coaches they can hear versus this coverage, or hey, there's this blitz, how are we blocking this protection? And, they'll do a little of that on their own and hopefully have some questions once, we formally can come in and start meeting with them. And then from then, that base downs is say like Tuesday, right, 1st and 10. Then third down would be Wednesday, and then red zone Thursday, and then just kind of progress through there. And then Friday, you're kind of in walkthrough mode, kind of polish, and before you know it, meeting Friday night, and let's go Saturday.
And you guys go to a local hotel Friday night. You're together. You have breakout rooms on Friday night as well to kind of go over last-minute things, I would assume.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is obviously my first run at it here, but yes, typically that's kind of the, try to cross all the T's, dot all the I's, and, hey, if this, last-minute thoughts, here's the opening script, maybe stuff like that, just stuff to be ready for.
Well, I know it's kind of a creature of habit, and so I knew there was a real detailed routine that you want the guys to get into. You need to get into it as coaches, but you want your players to kind of get into that as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And talk about young quarterbacks. I mean, I remember even dealing with young quarterbacks in the NFL. That was part of the deal. It's probably even harder, to be quite honest, in college, because now you're having to go to class and you're having to go to study hall and all these different things. You have to create some sort of calendar, a consistent calendar, of when you're going to get your work done, in between all the stuff that's going on in your normal life. So I think it's very important, because before you know it, it's the end of the night and you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't get to second and long runs or something like that. So, I try to help those guys best we can, but, you need to have that proactive personality that those guys are going to be in there learning and doing the work on their own.
Do you ever feel totally ready for game one as a coach?
I don't know if it's totally, but I think at some point you have to, and Coach even talks about, like, the hay is never in the barn. It really isn't. Even after the first series, like, hey, we'll come back on those iPads you're talking about, those tablets, and we'll check it out and figure out, hey, what are they doing, and keep going from there. So I would say we're never really ready for it, but it's a continual process, and hopefully, we're trending. We continue to trend even through the games going as we learn and figure out what they're doing to us.
During the break, you and I were talking about NFL training camps and going to small colleges and getting in dorms. You guys went to the dorms here for a couple of weeks. How was that experience for you?
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was cool. Actually, my son came and worked in the equipment room for about a week, and he was part of us and hung out with us. And because when you're away from your family, for that much time, you're talking about a month, it's tough, and Coach does a good job of getting us out of here and letting us go see them. But it's just, it's good to have those guys around, and the camaraderie within the team in that dorm setting is very unique, and I think it was very productive, and we got a lot of out of it, for sure.
Pretty easy walk from the dorm over to the complex, wasn't it?
Right. It was. There was some guys in the scooters, they get going fast and all that, but no, not too bad.
Oh, fantastic. Again, Glenn Thomas with us, co-offensive coordinator for the Cornhuskers and quarterbacks coach. Got a text coming in for you. It says, Coach, has anything surprised you about living in Lincoln and Nebraska?
I think it's lived up to everything and more. I've been just so impressed with this place, the people, the passion, the tradition, the intensity. I think it's everything that I thought it would be and more. Very appreciative of it, and respect what this place is as a university and a town, and the passion they have for this university is pretty cool.
Great. Dr. J in Kearney for you, Coach. He goes, he wants to know what you think of Jalen Gramstead and what has he added to your quarterback room.
He's been a great addition. I don't think there's anybody in our room that, or in that building that wouldn't think that if he's in there, he could help us move the ball in a productive fashion. He's been a team-first mentality. He'll do anything we can. Obviously, all the success he's had coming here before, but he's been super humble, very proactive learner. But I think not only just the off-the-field stuff, very productive, got a really nice skill set on the field. So I think he's been a huge, huge addition for us.
Take me back. Was it June he came to a camp or something here? Is that how that worked?
It was, I believe, mid-June or something like that. Yep, came and worked out for us. Didn't know much about him. Got heard his name when he came to camp and obviously knew about some of the stuff that he had done, at his other school and came in and played well, and it worked out. Their school did a fantastic job of letting him graduate and working through that process. And, he's been here, 6 weeks now, 2 months, I guess now, but, he kind of hit the ground running fast for sure as far as trying to learn it.
He can certainly be a help maybe on a game day, but obviously for scout work during the week, you need to have somebody taking snaps and simulating the other team's offense. I'm sure he's involved in some of that work.
Totally, because he has the arm talent to do it, but also he has athleticism to do it. I mean, he can run around and do the zone read stuff, the off schedule, out of the pocket stuff. I mean, he can give you a lot of stuff, not only, like I say, not only from the scout team, but also for us, if and when we need him.
I know you have other walk-ons in the room as well. Is Bodie in your room?
Bodie's been great, from Blair, done a great job, kind of came in the summer. Again, just kind of setting back, trying to learn. The young guys. Obviously, we've really tried to push the reps with the other guys, so he hadn't really necessarily got a lot of reps in there. But he's, the mental reps and really trying to be proactive to be a part of it, and been a nice addition to the room as well.
Question from a gentleman in Phoenix. Scott from Phoenix wants to know: is there a chance Heinrich could do some other things other than quarterback for this year?
I think he's got the skill set to do that for sure. I mean, he's one of the most athletic guys in the building, big, strong, fast. I think he brings a lot to the table, not only at quarterback, but other positions for sure.
Very good. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate the text. Keep them coming, folks. 240-2214-4300, the number to be part of the program. All right, UTEP is the opponent Saturday. Their coach, Scotty Walden, came from Austin Peay, brought a lot of players and too much of his staff. You've probably watched a lot of Austin Peay tape, haven't you, getting ready for this game?
Yeah, we have. I heard somebody talk, maybe Sat was talking about, like, we need to watch some UTEP just to see the colors of UTEP, because we're so used to seeing the Austin Peay stuff. But yeah, he's done a good job. We've kind of known him through the years, just, through the coaching ranks, if you will, and he's done a nice job, obviously at Austin Peay. And he's kind of more of an offensive guy. Brought his defensive coordinator from Austin Peay and does a good job. Got a lot of looks, aggressive at times. So we'll definitely have our hands full with those looks.
So you anticipate a little blitzing?
They've shown some blitz. Yeah, they've shown some blitz, and they're kind of both ends of it, right? They're going to drop everybody back, or they could also bring everybody. So they're kind of on both ends of the spectrum. So we'll have to be ready for it all.
Well, and they're looking at us and going, freshman quarterback. We're going to try to show him a lot of different things. I mean, if I were in their shoes, that's probably what I would do.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And we're anticipating all that, and hopefully we have a clean, precise plan to be ready for whatever they give us.
You referenced earlier the running back room. The depth chart came out on Monday, and it was or. So obviously nobody has really grabbed a hold of the number one spot, but I think you guys as a staff like the talent you have in that room.
Yeah, no doubt. And Coach continues to challenge them. And hopefully everybody gets that opportunity to show what they can do, and coaches, I think he's even talked to you guys about, hey, I want to see a 4-yard go to 20 or a 4-yard go to 80, let's see who's going to make somebody miss and make an explosive. So, it's hard to say sometimes in practice, or if you're in a thud tempo or in a scrimmage situation, when the lights come on and it's real, who's making people miss, who's picking up pass pros, who's getting the job done. So we're excited to see that for sure.
Folks, Dorothy Lynch Homestyle Light and Lean Dressing, endless flavorabilities. A question for you, and this is a good one in our chat room, and YouTube chat room. Daniel wants to know, Coach, do you have a preferred kickoff time? Because you have the 11 a.m.s, you have 2:30s, you have night games. As a coach, which one do you like?
I'm probably a little biased because when I was a kid growing up in Texas, I would watch the Cowboys every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And I thought that was just the perfect time.
Yeah.
So you get to church, you go to church, right when you get home from church, let's kick off and let's go, And from the coach's standpoint, I think it's perfect too, because you have pregame meal at 8, so you're getting up. You're already getting up early anyway, right? So you're getting up at 8. You have pregame meal at 8. You play at 12. You're hopefully at home 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, at most, and you can spend the evening with your family. So sometimes those night games, which are pretty cool, and particularly into prime time and stuff, it's a great atmosphere, but it makes for a long day, kind of sitting around the hotel and killing some hours before the game starts. So I would, my bias probably says 12 o'clock.
I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of that early afternoon window would be great. 11 o'clock's a little early for me, but those kind of 1, 2:30 games, and most fans don't like that, but I had a feeling that might be your answer on that there, Coach. All right, time to spotlight this week's alumni on our Alumni Hall feature. We're going to go back and grab a quarterback that won a Heisman Trophy here in Nebraska.
Darren Diedrich is a lone setback. Tracy Wistrom also in the game at tight end. He goes in motion to the left. Eric Crouch pumps once, is in trouble, eludes a tackle, gets out of the end zone. He's to the 5, he's to the 10, Crouch to the 15, out across the 20, Crouch to the 25, out across the 30, 35, 40. Look out, he could go. He's to the 40, he's to the 30, he's to the 20, he's to the 10, he's all the way.
One of the great plays in Husker history, that great run against the Missouri Tigers in Columbia. Might have been the Heisman moment for Eric Crouch, who's still very much involved in the program, comes to a lot of practices, and big supporter of Husker football to this day. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop. Keep those texts coming, 402-413-2400. We have more of the coach coming up next.
It's go time in the Midwest. The Labor Day sales event is on now. Time to get 0% financing or $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 F-150. Don't wait. Get our best deals on our best selection of Ford trucks only through September 3rd. These deals won't last forever, so that means it's go time. Go to the Labor Day sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers today. It all ends September 3rd. Now get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $6,000 cash back on a 2024 F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentoring.
We are recruiting teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir. Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Experience luxury car buying like never before with Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Right now, lease the 2024 Genesis G70 Sport Advanced all-wheel drive for just $499 per month. Get started online at southwestomahagenesis.com and shop our current offers happening right now. Or visit our showroom at Village Point today. 36 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax, title, license extra. $2,999 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires August 31st, 2024. See dealer for details.
We're back on our Husker football show for the week. Delighted to be joined by Glenn Thomas, co-offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach for the Big Red. Brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily. With the new enhanced Channel Seed brand, you can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channelseed.com. Channel.com/rise. A couple of minutes left with the coach. 402-413-2400. The number to, if you want to fire off a text for Coach Thomas. In our chat room, Matthew wants to know, compare the staff sizes between what you have in Nebraska compared to what you were dealing with in the NFL.
Very similar.
Are they?
Yeah, very similar. I mean, it's, in the NFL, there's not a limit on staff, but I think there is a fine line of having too many people. I mean, there's, you have so many voices. At some point, there needs to be one person making the decision, and you can kind of break down and have all the computer guys and get all the tendencies, that volume, people are probably best for that. And then at some point, you got to have, the people that are putting the game plan together and that type thing, right? So, there's only so much to go around, and at some point, somebody's got to make the decision. So, probably very similar. But I'll be curious to see how that evolves, with the unlimited staffs and so forth. But my history has been pretty similar.
Which is interesting to me because you're dealing with a lot more players at the college level than you have on an NFL roster. You've got the 53-man roster and then a practice squad. I know it's bigger than that in camp, but once you get to the season, it's about half the size of what your roster is here.
Yeah, it literally is. Yeah, 53, like you say, and then a handful of practice squad guys. So, usually you have in the NFL, you probably have like a position coach and like an assistant, if you will, at each position, right? And it's about that here. You just have so many more, the recruiting folks and, those type that have a lot of hats that they wear around the building, that are still plugged into the football piece of it. So there's a lot. There's an army. There's no doubt about it. But we have tons and tons of people, great help that are right there for us. And we try to utilize them best we can, for sure.
Yeah. Well, as you get ready for this opening game of the year, you still have 2 more practices tomorrow and then Friday, and then get ready for the 2:30 kick. What still needs, you always talking about there's still not all the haze in the bar. Give me a couple things you still kind of want to check off your list with these guys. Yeah,
I think it's probably more situational things, I mean, always in the first, couple games of the year, you always kind of come down to a 2-minute, whether at half or in, at the end of the game, those type things. There's always the, exotic, 2-minute situations where it's, center of the ball left, center of the ball right, or a Mayday field goal, just those things that you don't hit a lot during training camp. I think it's more of a refresher, make sure you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's with those type things, as well as just, refining and combing through the game plan to make sure we have the right, the right plan in place.
Just mentioned the 2-minute offense. We now have 2-minute warnings in college football. It was amazing to watch those few games that were on last week about how it can really impact, because you have one more dedicated timeout to get to.
No doubt, no doubt. We had a meeting about it last night, matter of fact, and Coach Patton did a fantastic job of just talking through some scenarios as far as when we want to snap the ball, the timeout usage. It's a whole nother wrinkle into the time management piece, that we'll have to be on top of for sure.
Contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. John in Omaha on our text line said, Coach, can you talk about your end-of-game responsibilities? Where do you go at the end of the game? Do you have much end-game responsibilities?
No.
You go to the locker room, slap guys in the back probably a little bit, and off you go see your family.
That's about it. Yeah, hopefully there's a big celebration and do a little dance with them, and then kind of let them go celebrate, because they deserve it at that point. Hopefully it's a hard-fought win, and we can all celebrate and get to congratulate each other after the end of the game. But we want them to go enjoy that well-earned victory, and like you say, we'll go see our family and see our kiddos.
It's got to be a chance for all of you coaches just to kind of take a deep breath. That week is done. I know I got to turn the page early Sunday morning when I'm breaking down tape and all that, but that's got to be the brief few minutes of the week where you can go, whew. Yeah. All right, one done. Let's go to the next one.
That is, and I think you have to do that. You have to try to do that, because if you don't, it just over the course of a season it just wears you down. So I think at some point, whether it be 30 minutes, whether it be 4 hours, there has to be a window where you let the week pass and move on to the next one. In today's world with the TV flex and the short weeks, sometimes that's a little harder. There's been times where even probably. Last year you ended up sleeping in the office to get ready for a Thursday night game in Pittsburgh, right? So, there's some complexities to that, but hopefully there's a little time you can, take a breath and move on.
How much are you on your guys about making sure they're getting enough rest?
I think that's an important one. Coach talks to the team about that. I think, you talk about being professional. I mean, that's a huge component of being professional. I think, I saw Coach McVay, who's a good friend of mine. He was talking about, being a young coach. You think you don't need sleep, and we're going to work hard. But when you're around the people business, you have to be, at your prime, and that's the only way you can really do it is make sure you're rested and ready to go. So we talk about that from a professional standpoint. We're an early practice team, so we got to get up and get moving and be ready to roll.
Very good. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program. Working together, Central Valley Ag unites with our farmers to feed our hungry planet. Take your seat at the table at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. We'll slip our final break in and come back and wrap up the show with Coach next.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln, or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Pioneer brand Z Series soybeans have farmers yielding out an additional 2.7 bushels per acre over A Series. This has everyone talking, not just farmers. Case in point, a trucking company wrote, "Morning, noon, and night, it doesn't matter. I'm hauling Z Series. The phone doesn't stop ringing. Even my home number, it never stops ringing." Well, it's fair to say Pioneer brand Z Series soybeans are making quite an impact. Unleash your greatest harvest yet at pioneer.com/greatest yields.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles and operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Final few minutes of our football coaches show for the week. Glenn Thomas has been with us, co-offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach for the Big Red. It's brought to you by Channel. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with a new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Luke on our text line from down in Mississippi said, Coach, with the new rules that have allowed you to have more staff on the field during practice, how has that helped the team get ready for the season?
Yeah, I think it's been a good thing in the fact that, you have more eyes on them, just from the little things. Like, obviously ball security has been a point of emphasis for us. For example, we can have guys at each position group looking at something specific like that, So if you see something, hey, an example, a learning opportunity, we can address it right there, as opposed to maybe the position coach working on some other stuff and not seeing it. So just something as simple as that, I think, creates an advantage. So the more eyes on it, you can create that emphasis on things that we're trying to get better at.
Going back and talking about the size of a roster, I think college coaches have been kind of at a disadvantage. I mean, you're out there, some coaches have 25 guys in their position room. It's hard to put much attention on all 25 guys.
It really is. It really is. And at some point, particularly as you get closer to the season, that number's just got to shrink as far as where your emphasis and where your instruction's going, right? Who are those guys that are actually going to be in the game? And then trying to get those guys not only in the meeting room, but obviously on the practice field, get them reps and get them ready to go.
It's got to be good for them because they all want to be coaches and they all want to be full-time coaches somewhere. This has got to be good stuff for them to better themselves in the profession, I would think. No question. And Coach Rule's one of the best I've ever been around and being part of that. You look at his staff and what he's done and the continuity he's had and the history that he's had with them, as far as coaching and growing up and playing for him. It's unlike probably very few in the country, I would think. Yeah. Mike in the chat room wants to know if you're looking forward to coaching a game inside Memorial Stadium. Oh, man, yeah, no doubt. I'm super excited. I'm pumped. The expectation is high, but I think it'll be even more when I, get a chance to do it. So I'm super excited about it, and we're gonna get ready to go. There's no doubt about that. Family gonna be able to go? Yeah, they'll be there. Awesome. Yes, they'll be there. And wait till the night game, Coach. It's a whole nother level. That's what I've heard. So you're a week away from that happening, but I know we're not looking that far ahead. We got to worry about UTEP. Last couple thoughts about them. You talked about the exotic defense that they're going to throw at you. I'm sure you've studied a lot of Austin PTA because their DC was there last year for the Governors. Now with the minors, different athletes for him, obviously now at UTEP. But just some of the challenges they're going to pose you in the offense on Saturday. Yeah, I think it's just the volume of, like I say, the extreme of bringing everybody versus dropping everybody, right? So I think it's that mentality, but also too there's an emphasis on doing what we do, and what we've been working on for the last 6 or 8 months, and trying to perfect that, master that as close as we can to game day and throughout the game. I think that's where the emphasis needs to be, not getting too caught up on all the external stuff, whether what they're doing, it's like what are we doing and how can we attack them. And I think if we take that approach, at least it gives us a chance to play the best. Some have described Tony White's defense as exotic, which is what you get to go against every day.
Yeah, I think that's helped us. I think that really has helped us, particularly in the quarterback room. You know, there's not your traditional windows, you know, that you know, a lot of times you see. So there will be great correlation between that for sure.
You know, one thing, and Coach Worrell talked about this, that Eddie learned last year being back in the Big Ten after being a player in this league, is that you deal with a lot of weather here. And you certainly did in the NFL with some of your stops there, that it's not always going to be 65 or 70 and sunny. You're going to play in some windy conditions, snowy conditions, that type of thing. So your offense has got to be kind of built to do multiple things, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And that stuff, excuse me, that's something we talk about, right?
Yeah.
And we want to have the skill set to do that. Like you say, with the multiple weapons, if you will, on offense, whether it be big receivers, multiple tight ends, multiple running backs. So we have a chance, depending on what the situation or the weather is, we can adapt as needed. But definitely something that's part of the equation.
That'll be the interesting conversion for the 4 schools from the West Coast. Not that its weather's always great in Seattle or Eugene, because they certainly get wet conditions and chilly conditions. They don't get the snow to deal with, but it's a little bit different brand of football when you have to go out there and it might be 31 degrees and some snow blowing around. You just have to play a little different.
It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. I'll be curious to see how that, through the years, just all those different scenarios that pop up. It'll be it's just brings more intrigue to the college football and that whole atmosphere. I think so.
Coach, if memory serves, you guys had a practice here in the spring where it was pretty nasty out. Coach made you go out and play out in it. Is that right? Am I remember that?
Yeah,
right?
that's kind of his. Excuse me. Yeah, he. That's pretty common because obviously you can't control that when the season's going on. You got to go do it, and I think there's a mental toughness to that, and there's an excitement that needs to happen. You get to go play no matter what the weather's like, and Coach is all for that. That's a great opportunity to accept the challenge and go play good in adverse situations.
When you're the quarterback coach and you wake up and it's windy, what's your first thought and what's your message going to be to your guys?
Well, control what we can control. I mean, it is what it is. It's going to be like that on both sides.
Yeah.
So, obviously from a coaching standpoint, we need to control it and manage it best we can with the wind, against the wind, play call, et cetera. But from a coaching standpoint, as far as like, hey, now we need to utilize pace, like stuff from a coaching perspective, like, hey, you're not going to throw a bunch of touch balls in the wind. We better have good spiral ball spin. From a coaching standpoint, those are little things you talk about in the wind. But then we'll try to manage it best we can from a schematic standpoint and against, et cetera, with the wind.
Good stuff. Coach, we appreciate it. Thanks you. I'm tired of talking. Let's go play some games. I know you guys are as well. Let's go get the Miners on Saturday.
No doubt. Go Big Red.
Glenn Thomas with us here on our football show for the week. Huskers will play UTEP at 2:30 Saturday at Memorial Stadium, 10:30 for pregame coverage. That'll be Husker game day, and we'll take you all the way till 9:30 that night with our postgame show and Big Red reaction. We got another hour of sports highlight coming up next, including our first Big Ten Blitz of the year. We'll have that and more on the other side. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Elevate your journey and command the road like never before with a new vehicle from Woodhouse GMC. Plus, with our current offers going on now, you'll save even more. Receive up to $9,000 off MSRP on the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. Woodhouse GMC, we are professional grade. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. Must have 2010 or newer trade-in to qualify. Offer applies to select stock numbers. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires September 3rd, 2024. See dealer for details.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Matt Moorhead or Joanne Shamanek in Lincoln or Scott Jeffers in McCook today.
Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. In the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers announced today that Russell Wilson will start at quarterback this year, beating out former first-round pick Justin Fields. Both players were acquired this offseason to compete for the job after Pittsburgh traded away Kenny Pickett to the Eagles. The Dallas Cowboys signed running back Dalvin Cook to their practice squad today to join the backfield alongside Ezekiel Elliott. Cook is a four-time Pro Bowler and is looking to bounce back after a disappointing season with the Jets last year. In the WNBA, Caitlin Clark broke the rookie single-season three-point record tonight. The former Iowa Hawkeye has scored 86 threes this season and counting as she leads the Indiana Fever down the stretch and into the playoffs. 16 games in the MLB tonight, including the Guardians defeating the Royals 7-5, the Cubs beating the Pirates 14-10, the Blue Jays facing the Red Sox, and the Dodgers hosting the Orioles. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Back to throw, a play action look. Heiberg going to take a shot downfield, has a man wide open. Malachi Coleman makes the catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Back to throw, step throws downfield, taking a deep shot down the field, and the ball's intercepted. Picked off by Tommy Hill. Has an INT. He's at the 15 to the 20. Breaks a tackle, skirts to the outside. 25, makes another man miss. Slides his way to the 28-yard line. Tommy Hill's second pick in as many weeks. Shot blocked back and covered. Above the net, shot, Merritt Beeson, kill! Wow! Couple of Huskers had to punch it off the net, and Beeson swings away. They love it in Lincoln. It's 29-10. Heinrich going to step back. Little G belly action. As a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw. He makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Sullivan gets the chest high snap. Stepping up, being pressured. Gets hit and goes down. Huskers get their first sack of the game. Northwestern has given up the most sacks of any team in the conference. The Huskers get one there from Nash. Here come the Razorbacks, bumping over the left. Gillen, she's stopped. Rick Allen, block number 11 for the team 16. They're body bumping in Lincoln.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're back for hour number 2, Sports Nightly. Hope you enjoyed last hour. Glenn Thomas, a fun guy to talk to. We covered a lot of ground. We kind of went above and beyond the quarterbacks because he is the co-OC for this team. But I kind of wanted to get into what does a week look like and what do you do on a Sunday with your guys? What does Monday look like, Tuesday? I thought that was fascinating stuff, so I hope you enjoyed that. And again, you've kind of said it a few times, Jess. I'm ready for this talking part to be over. Let's see a game and see what these guys look like.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, we know what we know at this point, and it's not a lot. I mean, we've been to some practices. We've heard the coaches talk, and we've seen some highlights. But in terms of how are they going to match up against somebody that's not their own team? You know, we don't know until we see them do that. And so, just going to practice yesterday, after practice, talking with the players, they're ready to hit somebody else. I can tell you that. And I think we're all at that point. It just seems like it's been longer than normal this year.
I'm with you. It's been a full month.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't know why this time has seemed so much longer, but, I think we have communicated all we can communicate at this point, and until we see them play a game and play against somebody else, it's just, hey, we just got to see it now on the field and on film, and we'll see where they're at. But I'm with you. I'm ready to actually play a game.
3 days away. We'll have one under our belt by this time in 3 days. Well, volleyball's got one under their belt. Nice win last night. The number 2 Huskers had a block party in Louisville to beat number 9 Kentucky in 4 sets. Really dominated them in set 3, 25-15. But 18 blocks, the most for a Husker volleyball team since 2018. They held Kentucky to 139. This team last year was so good defensively. It was so hard to get the ball on the ground against the Huskers, and that looks kind of like the same mantra for this team. They're going to be tough to put shots away because they've got Lexi and Lanny, and everybody is so good at digging balls out.
Yeah, and I think it was Emily Eamon, who does a fantastic job for the Big Ten Network. I was listening to something that she did the other day talking about as good as the Husker defense was, as hard as it was for teams to have a high hitting percentage against Nebraska a year ago, it was not, they weren't as good of a blocking team. So I know that's been a big emphasis. We've heard Andy Jackson talking about that. Jalen Reyes talked to me about that going into this year. You know, she's so athletic, but they have to be better. They have to get their hands on some balls and not always even just, hey, we're going to have a block, but even just get your hands and some touches to make it easier. But that just goes to show you how good Lexi and Lainey were and the back row attack and all of that. So for as good as they were defensively, they weren't necessarily as good of a blocking team. And so I think that is a good sign that out of the gate against a team like Kentucky, they were that good of a blocking team. But, you know, great first challenge out of the gate. This is, you know, you talk about a team that is ready to handle a different kind of challenge in the non-conference. This is a team that's ready for that. And so out of the gate, here's Kentucky. That's a good team. That's a good volleyball team. I think you could see that. And they had some adversity. They had to figure some things out. It wasn't pretty the whole way through, but they figured out a way to win, and they dominate when they need to dominate. And I thought there were a lot of positives. And the one thing that look, I'm not by any means a volleyball coach expert by any means, but just from observing, and I'll be anxious to dive into this on the dig this week, it just seemed like maybe, you know, for as talented as they are, a little bit maybe the chemistry was not quite there, because probably this team that figuring out who they're going to play, they've been playing a lot of split teams and you know, split down the middle and facing each other, and hey, we want to make each other better. I mean, Coach Cook said last night in his press conference, it's like a national championship match every single day in practice. So when you split up the team, maybe doesn't allow for the starters to really develop that chemistry, which will be a work in progress. I thought maybe there were some times that it didn't look as connected as we saw last season, but that will get there. And I think you absolutely saw that this team is very, very talented, even despite maybe some rough patches. They figured out a way to win.
To that point, think about how much John Cook gets on the NCAA for not allowing enough preseason practice. You know, and that's probably where the offense isn't quite in sync yet, just because they've not worked together. To your point, they're still trying to figure out who their rotation is. So a lot of these people are not playing with the same group out there time after time. Boy, I thought Rebecca was terrific. 12 blocks last night. Merritt had 6. Lexi had 15 digs. They were pretty darn solid for the opening match of the year. And by the way, Wisconsin took it on the chin from Louisville in the late match. I don't know if all of you stayed up for that, but Wisconsin won set 1, but then Louisville came roaring back, won the next 3, and knocked off the Badgers. So good start, obviously room to improve, but you would expect that after just one match.
Absolutely. I thought it was pretty fascinating. There was a point, one of the analysts was talking last night about how sometimes the middle blockers don't get a lot of shine. I think that's not going to be the case for Nebraska this season. I think you talked about Rebecca. I think it could be night to night. Rebecca, Andy, I mean, we didn't even see much of Layla last night either.
I don't know that she got in, did she?
You know, I don't think so. So there could be, I think one of those two could absolutely be a star of the show given the matchup any given night, but they're going to be special. And, you know, Lauren Cook-West talks a lot about set the middle, set the middle, set the middles. They're going to set the middles. I think it's pretty evident you've got to get those two involved. It just completely changes the dynamic of this team when you can get those two involved.
Good to see Lindsey Krause back out. Obviously, she missed the back end of last year. Didn't have her at all for the NCAA tournament. I thought she looked pretty good in her kind of debut match back with the team, but first of many, and a good one, a good tester to kind of know where you're at. Now they'll play Texas A&M Corpus Christi on Friday at 7, TCU Saturday at 7:30. That is a part of the Emeritus Players Challenge at the Bob Devaney Sports Center over the weekend. So 7 o'clock Friday, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and our volleyball show with head coach John Cook will be tomorrow night. So he'll be hour 1 in here with JB for that. But what a great night to showcase college volleyball. They've not done this, Jess. They've always had kind of this launch date for volleyball on Friday. Well, last night they got the waiver for the AVCA to do this classic last night with 4 top 10 teams. And you got it on ESPN. It was a great exposure for the sport. And 4 teams that you're probably going to see deep into December. I think all 4 of those teams are good NCAA tournament teams. I liked it. I like the fact that they kind of elevated college volleyball for one night where they got kind of the showroom to themselves.
Which we've seen the Big Ten Network do a lot of, but have the ratings come out yet? Have you seen anything on that yet?
They probably are. I've not seen it.
I'll be interested to see that, but with as much promotion as they did too, it wasn't even just like, hey, they're on tonight. If you turn it on, you see it. They promoted it.
They did.
Quite a bit more than what you normally see as well. And even with the E60 documentary that we've talked a lot about, they referenced that quite a bit throughout the night. But yeah, it was really cool, great for the sport. You know, again, chatting with Jalen Reyes, they knew it was a great opportunity. And, you know, to also be able to have the experience in that gym where the Final Four is going to be. My dad texted me, he's like, why is the court blue against Kentucky? The court was blue. I think that's the NCAA color.
It is.
And so the court was blue, I know, at the Final Four in Tampa. So I'm assuming that's what it was. But he's like, why is it Kentucky color in Louisville? I'm like, I think it was just because it's an NCAA thing. It wasn't so much of a Louisville hosting, Kentucky hosting. It was just, hey, this is where the Final Four is going to be, and we're gonna kick this thing off with a bang. But a great opportunity, and Huskers handled it.
Sure did. So a good start to the volleyball season. Hope you enjoyed last night. And again, Friday, Saturday, they're back on the court as well. It's going to be a busy day around here. We had Matt Davidson on the other night during Troy Dannon's AD show about, you got the football game at 2:30 Saturday afternoon. You got volleyball at 7:30 that night. That happens a lot in Lincoln, and that can cause issues because of the traffic flow. You're trying to get all the football fans out of here, and then the volleyball folks trying to weave their way to the Devaney Center to get parked and get in there. And I think that's why they pushed that start time back to 7:30, just so people had a little bit more time. You might have about 2 hours when the football game ends to when that volleyball match will get going at the Devaney Center. And so some of our affiliates will have the volleyball match. Other affiliates will be carrying our post-game show for football on Saturday. All right, here's what we have coming up this hour. Our first edition of the Big Ten Blitz. We're going to check in with the folks at Michigan, Northwestern, and USC as they get ready for matchups this weekend. A sneaky good game could be Northwestern's game with Miami of Ohio. The Redhawks won 11 games last year. And then one of the great games of the weekend is USC playing LSU in Las Vegas. That is a Sunday night game on ABC, primetime on ABC. So we're going to preview from our new correspondent out in Los Angeles. Looking forward to having that. Also, we'll hear from Thomas Fidone, Husker talented tight end. Jessica caught up with him a couple of days ago as he gets ready for another season and should be a big weapon for Husker football here this fall. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We're back with our first edition of the Blitz. We'll do that next.
Hi, this is Rex Burkhead, and I'm asking you to donate to the Team Jack Foundation to support childhood brain cancer research. Your contribution fuels the discovery of new treatments, enhancing children's lives and improving survival rates. Childhood brain cancer is a serious issue in Nebraska, where we rank number 7th nationally in incident rates. Every dollar brings us closer to a cure and a brighter future for these brave kids. Make a difference today by visiting teamjackfoundation.org to donate. Go Big Red.
Discover a better car buying experience with Woodhouse Hyundai during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Right now, lease the 2024 Hyundai Palisade SEL for just $449 a month. When you shop Woodhouse Hyundai, you can rest easy with Hyundai Shopper Assurance, America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get started online at woodhousehyundai.com today. 36 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax, title, license, extra, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires September 3rd, 2024. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol-Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
It's go time in the Midwest. The Labor Day sales event is on now. Time to get 0% financing or $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 F-150. Don't wait. Get our best deals on our best selection of Ford trucks only through September 3rd. These deals won't last forever, so that means it's go time. Go to the Labor Day sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers today. It all ends September 3rd. Now get 0% financing for 36 months for up to $6,000 cash back on a 2024 F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Experience luxury and performance at Woodhouse Lincoln. Receive 0% APR for 60 months on the 2024 Lincoln Navigator. From selecting the perfect vehicle to securing the best financing options, our team is here to assist you every step of the way. Come visit Woodhouse Lincoln at 144th and Giles Road or online at woodhouselincoln.com and explore all our current offers going on now. With approved credit, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 8/31/2024. See dealer for details.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Well, every week during the college football season, we like to take a little spin, a little trip around the Big Ten Conference and preview some upcoming matchups. We call it the Blitz.
This is the Big Ten Blitz. Michigan.
And here to talk about the Michigan Wolverines, Angelique Shengados of the Detroit News. Michigan obviously under new coach and Sharon Moore after the Jim Harbaugh era ends, and Michigan coming off of a national championship. And yet, Angelique, they're kind of flying under the radar, at least it seems to me. What kind of camp did they have, and what's the mood like in Ann Arbor here on the eve of starting the season?
I think there's definitely a sense of optimism in Ann Arbor. But I think you're right. They are flying a little bit under the radar, and I think that happens when you lose so much of your offense. I mean, they're replacing a whole offensive line, quarterback. I mean, I should have said that first. Yeah. They're replacing Blake Corum. I mean, they're replacing a lot of talent on the offensive side. Defense will be very good, and I think that people who are thinking that Michigan could challenge for the Big Ten championship are weighing the defense in that equation. And I tend to think that they're going to struggle this year because of all the newness on offense. And not to mention, I mean, you mentioned Sharon Moore first year, but all new defensive staff, new strength coach. Yeah, there's just a lot of new and a schedule that's a lot more challenging, at least up front, than it was last year.
We've seen in the past Michigan rotate quarterbacks, McNamara, McCarthy. Could this be a case where we see two guys again, at least maybe early in the year?
I think so. I mean, and you know, they open with Fresno State Saturday night, and that is something I think that's very possible. Against Texas the following week, I'm not sure that's the right approach, but yeah, I mean, you're looking at Alex Orji and Davis Warren, and they both have different skill sets. Sharon insists that the base offense is going to be very compatible to either one of them in there. And Alex Orji, as people remember him, he was used in different packages last year. And as they prepared to face Alabama in the Rose Bowl, he was the guy who gave the defense on the scout team, he gave them the Jalen Milroe look. So, you know, he's that similar body type. You know, I think that, you know, was his arm as strong? Probably not. And that's something that he's worked on. Then you look at Davis Warren, and he does have a strong arm. But these are guys who've not started a game in college and very little playing time, really, at this level. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that evolves.
All right, let's talk about the opener. Fresno State coming off of a 9-win season. They've had some disruption in the program with their head coach in the offseason. Give me kind of your thumbnail sketch on this matchup.
Well, I mean, I think they have a good quarterback coming back and an offensive line. And, you know, defensively, they can be tricky. So, you know, they did. Jeff Tedford had to step down for medical reasons. I think it was early July, so they moved on to Coach Skipper. And, you know, he's been in this position before. And you know, I know that there's a fear going on the road, and Michigan has a 22-game home winning streak, but I just don't know that factors in as much anymore. And not in this day and age of transfers, and you've got veterans coming in who've been there and done that. So I don't know how much of that's a factor going on the road, but it is the opener. Crazy things have happened. I know Michigan's a pretty significant favorite, but I just think that this is Fresno State's. It's a really good team for Michigan to open with and give them a little bit of a measuring stick in a sense of where they are. But I don't think Fresno State's going to be an easy out, and I think that's probably the kind of game they need before the Texas game.
Wolverines hosting Fresno State, the Bulldogs under the lights in Ann Arbor, 6:30 Central on NBC. Angelique, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Northwestern.
And here to talk about the Wildcats, Louis Vaquero, the Wildcat Report. Northwestern will open the season against the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio. Louis, what have been kind of the big storylines during camp leading up to this? Probably, obviously, the quarterback is among the big stories that have been covered by you.
Yeah, I think the biggest story has been the stadium, really. You know, they got the temporary stadium on the lakefront. It's a little under 15,000 people. It's sitting right on the water of Lake Michigan, so it should be very unique, very kind of Northwestern. You know, it's going to be a small crowd, but it should be pretty cool. I think everybody's looking forward to it, you know, among the Northwestern fan base. And then, like you mentioned, everybody's thinking about the quarterback battle. David Braun has not elected to disclose his starter before the game, so it's going to be Mike Wright, who's a transfer from Vanderbilt and Mississippi State. He's in his 5th year of college football. And then Jack Lausch, who's been the backup the last couple of years, has been more of a Wildcat quarterback and doesn't really have a whole lot of experience under his belt. But those are the two guys battling it out. I kind of think it's going to be Mike Wright just based on his, you know, he's a veteran that's got a lot more football that he's played. So I kind of lean that way, but no one knows for sure, and we won't know till Saturday.
David Braun did such an amazing job last year, Louis, and Big Ten Coach of the Year, rightfully so. What did he make some tweaks to the staff in the offseason?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest one was Zach Lujan, the offensive coordinator from South Dakota State. He won the last 2 national championships there. The guy's like 29 years old. I mean, some of these, you got some of these players now that are in their 6th, 7th, 8th year. They're almost his age. It's kind of funny. But, yeah, I think people are looking forward to seeing what he has. He's a guy that doesn't really have an offensive system. He's more of a philosophy guy, and he just tries to get the ball in his playmakers' hands. So that's another big storyline. They got a new offensive line coach as well, and, you know, they made some hires here and there. But the biggest one is Zach Lujan of the offense. And we'll see, you know, they've struggled offensively the last few years under Mike Bajakian. So we'll see if Zach Lujan can kind of restart things in Evanston.
All right, the opener is against the Red Hawks. Louis, an 11-win team from 2023. Break this matchup down for us. How do you see this one?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game. I mean, they really picked a doozy to open up the new stadium. You got to, no one gives you much credit for beating a MAC team, and if you lose the one, it's big time, news across the country. And this Miami team, like you said, they went 11-3 last year. They won the MAC. They've got a sixth-year quarterback in Brett Gabbert, who's healthy now. They got the defending MAC Defensive Player of the Year and Matt Salopek at linebacker. I mean, this is a loaded team with a lot of experience. I think this is going to be a tight game. It's going to come down to a play or two. It's going to be one of those kinds of games. And, Miami all-time is 7-3 against Northwestern, believe it or not. So this is going to be a heck of a test for them right out of the gate.
Northwestern hosting Miami of Ohio Saturday, 2:30 on BTN. Louis Vaquera, the Wildcat Report. Louis, as always, we appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, Greg.
USC.
Here to talk about the Trojans, Scott Schrader from On3 USC. USC will take on LSU Sunday night on ABC. Scott, I know that a new defensive coordinator was a big part of the offseason news for USC. How has that transition gone in your eyes, and what were some of the other storylines you covered in the last 3 weeks?
Well, we don't get to watch practice, so we have to base it hearing from people that are there, and some of the feedback we get from people on the staff and so on has been pretty favorable. It's hard to fake the feedback that I've been getting from even the offensive players talking about the defense. Camps are always there's superlatives. Everything's wonderful. Everything's going great. But a lot of the times you can kind of tell by the language that's being used. It's just kind of your typical positive preseason stuff. But I think they're probably going to surprise a lot of people with the improvements. What Joel Klatt said about USC improving its defense this year, and he said USC will improve their defense basically by just lining up properly. So I think there were so many flaws left. It's impossible to go anywhere but positive. But I think USC's defensive line is a lot bigger, a lot better than we thought, and their secondary is going to be one of the strongest in the country, I believe.
Miller Moss put on quite a show in the bowl game. What reports are you hearing about his performance in camp?
Yeah, he had a really good battle with Jaden DeLara, who transferred in from UNLV. And it's just Miller just took over that leadership role, starting last year with the bowl preparation, and they were able to beat Louisville and kind of carry that momentum on into the springtime. But the thing about the USC quarterback situation is you got two really good guys, and the end result is USC usually is going to be the winner on those type of deals. But I think with Miller, you're going to see an offense that's going to be run a lot different than it was. To be dependent on one extraordinarily gifted football player to kind of carry the offense. I think you'll see more of a Lincoln Riley run offense this year. So I'm excited for Miller on a personal level, and you can just tell that of his teammates.
Well, I love this opener, USC LSU in Las Vegas. Give me kind of a thumbnail sketch on this matchup with the Tigers.
USC obviously had a more disappointing season last year than LSU, but you got some big-time out of the ball. You had two defenses that were, I don't know where LSU ranked last year, but they weren't good. And so I think that you've got a couple of teams that not many people know what to expect. I think most in LSU to come roll over the Trojans, and I would be surprised if that happens. I'm not saying that LSU can't win, but I would expect USC to be in this fight until zero.
I'm looking forward to it. USC LSU Sunday night, 6:30 Central Time on ABC. Scott Schrader from On3 USC. Scott, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this week's Blitz, brought to you by Groundworks, the official foundation company of the Huskers. Love getting the inside scoop on some of the upcoming Big Ten games. We'll do that every week here on Sports Nightly. When we come back, Jessica will rejoin the show. We'll hear from Thomas Fidone, Huskers' talented tight end. That's coming up next.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
For generations, the story of America's farmers has been one of grit, determination, and unwavering faith. Through trials and triumphs, one truth remains. Together, we can do more. Working together, Central Valley Ag unites with our farmers to feed this hungry planet. So take a seat, share your story. At CVA, there's room at the table. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Live reports of a polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hoving here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty you have.
Call 402-391-2336.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentor.
We're recruiting Teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Center Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Wednesday night, hump day, getting close to a holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend coming up. Always signifies the beginning of college football, and that's the case for us with UTEP being here on Saturday. A lot of guys are probably tired of showing up at these media sessions and talking, kind of like we're tired of kind of talking to them. We want to play some games, but Jess did have a chance earlier in the week to catch up with tight end Thomas Fidone.
Here with Thomas Fidone. Well, how does it feel? It's game week, finally.
It's exciting. You know, all the work that we put in over these last few months are about to come into fruition, and I think the team, well, I know the team's excited, you know, to finally play someone else instead of our own players and seeing the same defense and the same guys and be able to hit someone else, so we're all excited.
How does it feel different, this offense, and where you guys are at as an offense this year as opposed to where you were a year ago?
Yeah, I would say just confidence, obviously, you know, being under the same system for 2 years now. I don't think I've had that since I've been here, running the same offense without changing it for more than a year. So, you know, you get used to it, you get comfortable with it, you're comfortable with the calls, comfortable with the plays, obviously, and then comfortable with the coaches, and the most important part, you get comfortable with each other. And I feel like as an offense, we've definitely grown and gotten more confident and comfortable with each other and just trust one another to do our job.
You personally, how excited are you? You put in a ton of work, I know. How excited are you to go put it out on the field on game day?
I can't wait, yeah. There's not too many words to express how excited I am. You know, just to go out there and do my job and do it to the highest level that I can, and just keep getting better and better each game, each practice. The practices or the games are won, you know, in each practice throughout the week. So as long as I keep doing that and stacking each day, it's going to be a good game.
How do you feel too? Just again, when you talk about where you were a year ago as an offense, what about you personally? Just going into the season, how much ready do you feel? How much more confident do you feel?
Yeah, obviously a lot more confident because, I mean, I think last year, first game was my first college, not first, but I mean, pretty much my first college game really, actually, you know, playing and having a big role in the offense, and then now having, like, you know, a whole year under that and a whole year under my belt, and then just being able to know what to expect and the speed of the game during the game and everything like that, just being able to practice, you know, a whole year healthy again, and just kind of, you know, I guess the comfortability level of it's going to be a lot better for me, I think.
True freshman quarterback, what makes you believe Dylan Riley is ready for this moment and ready to lead this offense?
Oh, I mean, what makes me believe it is you see it every day. You know, he's a gamer, and he's also, everything he does it to the highest level. You know, he practices hard, and then after practice, you know, when most people are going to go and go home or, you know, not do what I guess a pro does. He does what a pro does. He'll go in, he'll watch film, he'll do the extra stuff, he'll do his little, you know, his arm workouts and stuff like that. I mean, I'll come in on the weekends and no one will be in here, and he'll be in here doing his workouts and just doing the little things. He does he does little things right, and somebody said recently there's magic in the minutia, and I think, you know, that he's like a big an epitome of that. I think, you know, he does all the small things right.
For this offense and setting the tone, what are the goals for this offense? I guess week one, what are you guys trying to do out there on Saturday?
I think we're just trying to be the best version of ourselves. Do everything right that we've been practicing, not have any self-inflicted, you know, mistakes, because we believe that the only people that can beat us is us. So yeah, just go out there and practice the way we know how to practice and play the way we've been playing, and just stack each play, and go out there and just, you know, beat the team we're against.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You know, sometimes we take for granted that Thomas Fidone basically was a freshman last year, you know, and I think even coming off the injuries, he felt good and was ready to go, and he's such a competitor. But I think even just the conversations that I had with him throughout last season, and then over the summer, and then even during fall camp, he realizes how much of a process it was and how much more comfortable he feels in what his role is and what he needs to do, and just even understanding playing at this level. But I loved his answer about what makes him believe Dylan's ready, and just a little bit of an echo of some of the things we've heard from the coaching staff about, hey, if you're coming up here and the building's empty, there's probably one person that's up here. If there's one person that's up here, it very well might be Dylan Raiola, and just how he's attacked things and just going above and beyond to make sure that he's ready for the moment. So, but I'm excited to see what Thomas Fidone does this year. I think he could very well be a breakout star.
I agree. If we pose the question, who's going to lead the team in touchdown catches, isn't he in the mix?
Yeah.
I think he'd have to be.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe more so even receptions. I don't know. I mean,
could be.
If he might not be a guy that is always the one getting the touchdown passes, but I think they're going to target him a lot in certain situations. He might be a guy that, I don't know, we'll see who. It becomes very clear with quarterbacks who they feel comfortable throwing the ball to when they get in a certain situation. I think we've seen that over the years here, but then even going back to like my time at Oklahoma, it was very clear who Baker Mayfield felt the most comfortable throwing the ball to when he was in a certain situation. Kyler Murray, the same thing, Jalen Hurts, and those are three guys that are now in the NFL. I think quarterbacks, even as much as this offense, I think is very much going to spread the ball around. There comes a time and situation where who do you feel comfortable throwing the ball to? I mean, I think it very well could be Thomas Fidone that Dylan feels comfortable throwing the ball to. I think it will become clear to us over the first couple of games who he feels comfortable in those situations. But I think certainly I think Thomas was that guy for Heinrich last year.
He sure was.
And so I think depending on how that goes for Dylan, I think he absolutely could be that guy. So while it might not be as many touchdown receptions, there could be a lot of times that he's pulling in receptions in certain situations that maybe the wide receivers, they're not looking to go to, or Dylan's not looking to go to.
Yeah, big, long pass plays probably isn't Thomas, but you get down closer to the goal line, I think he's one of the guys you really look for because he's big, he's tall, he's a matchup problem for safeties or even linebackers who may go get him because he's so tall. I think I might put my money on him to lead the team in touchdown catches. Maybe not receptions, but catches. But I wouldn't dismiss him out of receptions either.
Yeah,
He'll be there.
Who knows? I mean, I think that's where, because I think it's going to be spread out between the wide receivers, that it might allow for Thomas to be able to lead in some of those categories that he might not otherwise. Say, given a year, Samori Toure, who absolutely broke out as the guy. There are certain teams that have the guy at wide receiver. I think there's going to be a lot of those guys in the wide receiver group, which allows for maybe Thomas to be up in those categories as a tight end that maybe wide receivers typically would run away with some of those statistics.
I agree. Glad you brought up Samori. He got cut by the Packers, but has been signed by the Bears. So an interdivision signing put him on their practice squad. Also, Quentin Newsom has been added to the Broncos practice squad. Adrian Martinez added to the Jets practice squad. Yay for Adrian. Really happy for him. And this one made my day. Phelan Sanford has made the practice squad for the Vegas Raiders. How about Phelan Sanford, a former walk-on here, now is on a practice squad?
He's one of those football players the staff likes to talk about, right? I mean, just how many times, too, have we talked about guys, and Searles brings it up all the time, about just finding your role on special teams. And if Phelan Sanford's not one of those guys that can absolutely make a mark on special teams, I don't know. I mean, he is the epitome of that, and he's a football guy, as we love to hear this coaching staff throw out. But so happy for him, and what a great story.
Coach Worrell said the other day that Phelan was in a preseason game, and the Raiders blocked a kick. Phelan was the one that recovered it. And Coach Worrell said, we showed the team. We showed the team. Look at that guy. Came here without a scholarship, worked his tail off, became a starter at the end of last season. Now he's got a chance, and now he's quasi made the team. He's not on the 53 active, but he's on the practice squad, which is kind of the next best thing. So what a great story. Love that.
Yeah, and just goes to show you, it doesn't matter if you go in and, I mean, yeah, there are certain situations, but if you go do what you're supposed to do, and I mean, it doesn't matter what your history was, if you were a walk-on or undrafted, if you do the things that you're supposed to, and especially on those special teams units or some of those, you take advantage of those opportunities, and you wind up on the right squad too. Is a big part of it too. If you get with the great or the right fit, hey, anything could happen.
He joins Amir Abdullah, still a member of the Raiders, so a couple of Huskers on that Raiders squad. So really happy. It's made my day. I did a little squeal when I read on Twitter that or on X. Dang. On X that Phelan had made the practice squad.
And you have been after Searle, the big dog, and I, and you just did it.
Did it. Dang it.
You just did it.
Darn it. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the text line if you want to fire off a text. We got a few minutes left of our program here tonight. Woodhouse, you know, they have been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. 5. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team in Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
It's go time in the Midwest. The Labor Day sales event is on now. Time to get 0% financing or $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 F-150. Don't wait. Get our best deals on our best selection of Ford trucks only through September 3rd. These deals won't last forever, so that means it's go time. Go to the Labor Day sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers today. It all ends September 3rd. Now get 0% financing for 36 months for up to $6,000 cash back on a 2024 F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol-Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Shop our exceptional lineup of SUVs at Woodhouse Mazda during the Mazda Find Out event. Right now, receive 0% APR for 36 months on our full lineup of 2024 models. Visit us online at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com today. Serving our customers for over 20 years. This is Woodhouse Mazda. With approved credit, tax title license extra when financed with Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Excludes MX-5 and MXR models. Offer expires August 31st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Discover a better car buying experience at Woodhouse Nissan. With 2 convenient locations in Bellevue and Omaha off 144th and Giles Road, Woodhouse Nissan is your destination for your next sedan or SUV. Lease the 2024 Nissan Rogue SV Premium for just $399 with $0 down. 36 months, 5,000 miles per year. With approved credit, tax title license extra. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Discounted price based on a sale price of $34,846. VIN number RC709841. Offer expires August 31st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game. Thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Couple of texts. Doug in Norfolk says, besides the obvious more wins, what's the area you folks are wanting to see improvement in? I want to see major improvement when we get on offense in 3rd and long, and then on defense, we gave up too many first downs on long situations a year ago. Doug, it's got to be number one for me is turnovers.
Yeah.
Got to cut down the turnovers and create more.
Yeah, I was about to say, so many people harp on taking care of the football, but I think it's just as important to take it away.
Yep.
I mean, and I think, I sat down with Deshaun Singleton today, and for the Cornhusker conversation this week for this week's game day piece, and I asked him about just this defense for the goals. What are some of the things that you guys talked about? The number one topic was we've got to take it away more. So as much as people want to put it on the offense of taking care of it, I think the defense is putting just as much on themselves to be able to take it away. So I agree with you. I think that's one area that they've got to improve on. And I mean, it was funny because at Fan Day, there's this big, gigantic sign that teams can't win if they don't score. And I think that was a lot of the case last year, but I think there were some instances where, we sit here and say, well, if they would have maybe not turned it over, but also maybe if they would have taken it away 1 or 2 times, it's a different outcome. It's almost the same conversation, So, and I think the defense understands that, and so that's a big key for this defense going into Saturday.
They forced 14 a year ago. That's right, 14. Tony White has given them a goal of 20. I think that's doable. That's not even one more per game. I think that's very reasonable. Try to get 20 takeaways.
And the sacks as well, the 40 sacks. Searles I don't think we're going to have time to run a piece of it this week on Sports Nightly just with volleyball and the coaches shows, but I encourage you guys to go listen to the Sideline Slice this week. He had a fascinating breakdown on those. How do you get to that point where some of those guys that you want them to win their one-on-one battles, and some of them, they're so young, like a Cam Linhart, even Jamari to an extent, maybe relied more on just their pure athleticism. How do they take that next step to where they're able to get to the quarterback and rack up those sack numbers? How does that advance, right, going into this year for some of those guys? He had a great breakdown on that, being that he's the guy that faces those guys. So how do you go about winning those? And just, it just was a great breakdown on that. So I think a lot of those guys, too, want to take that step, too, where it's not just Tony White dialing up a specialty kind of play for them to be able to get to the quarterback. It's on any given play. What are you doing to